What's something that no matter how it's explained to you, you just can't understand how it works? Space. It's so big that it is unfathomable, and I think it expands. Into what? How did it start? It's all a mindfuck. Into what haunts me. How a basic wax record and player works. I get it's a grove that is tiny hills and valleys, and the needle picks up on each little one. But how the fuck does that equal a voice coming out of a large metal tube? It's witchcraft, as far as I'm concerned. How airplanes can be so big and heavy and fly. Magnets. Don't understand how they have that physical force locked up in them. Seems to break the laws of physics or something. I don't trust them. I'll go. For me, it's the whole transformation from caterpillars to butterflies. I understand what they do, but it's the most alien shit ever that a worm just decides to rearrange itself into a winged creature that looks nothing like it did before. You will be alarmed to find out that the caterpillar essentially liquefies and then transforms into a butterfly. It actually releases an enzyme that digests itself. The stock market. How can it be possible for the value of an item to change so drastically? I understand supply and demand, but the large fluctuations are amazing. MRIs, and I have a strong STEM education. They are essentially magic. I mean, I grasp the basic concepts, but how you can create a picture from the response of molecular poles being pulsed is like wild as shit. Quantum mechanics. No matter how many times it's explained, the idea that particles can exist in multiple states at once or influence each other instantaneously across vast distances just feels like nature's most elaborate inside joke that I'm not quite in on. I think it was Feynman who said that if you think you understand quantum mechanics, you do not in fact understand quantum mechanics. I don't get how cell phones work. I get it. I don't. How can I speak to my family in the Middle East on FaceTime without any sort of cords? My mind cannot fathom. And how do cords make it less weird? How NFTs work. Even Futurama couldn't help me understand. Why are clouds? How are clouds? What are clouds? Who are clouds? Which way is east, north, south, and west? My husband used to try and teach me by turning my body and asking what direction it is. I was like, how the fuck do I know? So I've always relied on, okay, is that a left or a right hand turn? Brains are insane to me. Like every human is virtually made of the same things. We all have a brain, etc. But everyone's brain is so ridiculously different from others. Then when you bring in things like mental illness, dementia, why do some brains go through that and others don't? Why isn't there a better way to help or reverse or stop progression? Branching off this, what is thought, memory, and emotion if they're generated by the brain? How? Where? We're not a whole lot closer to understanding that. How some people can have no inner dialogue, and how can those people have thoughts or ideas? I don't get it. My health insurance. You mean I have to pay every time I use it, even though I pay monthly? Unless I pay a big amount, then I pay less. But if I don't use it, they just keep it all, but they don't cover my teeth or my eyes. And when you actually have need of them, even though you've been paying them monthly, they fight like hell to prove that they don't have to pay for your claim. Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. What is it? How does it work? Is it real? Where does it come from? Like really, where the fuck does it come from? I freak out about it when I really try thinking of it. Taxes. America is the only place I know of nowadays that makes people do their own taxes. Unless you're self-employed, in most places the government tells you what you owe, takes it from your wages, and you never have to bother with it at all. It seems particularly nonsensical that, from what I gather, they make you work out a number and then tell you if it's wrong or not. It does not seem like a very good system. Why, after thousands of years of history behind us, people still suck? You'd think we'd be improving, but no, sometimes it feels like we're actually getting worse. There is money to be made in keeping people in bad shape behaviorally and poor and undereducated. The people who profit off of it keep it that way. How a human 3D prints another human in their abdomen without any conscious effort. I understand the science, I still think it sounds made up. Computers. Yeah, it reads code, but a program tells it what the code means. But that program is made of code, so a program tells that program how to... We just shoot electricity into this magic box and we can look at porn and do our taxes. I don't understand color. I think it's something about how the color we see is the color that wasn't absorbed and therefore the one reflected into our eyeballs. But I just don't really get it. That scene from Interstellar, when they go to the planet for a bit, then get back to the ship and the dude's many years older. Why time passes quicker in different places in space? How Trump can still be allowed to run for president. Any regular guy saying the things he constantly says in any post, podcast, or YouTube video, and the guy would be cancelled instantly. Old Orange, full of money, says the same things. Let's make him president again. I guess? I'm not sure I will ever understand. Unless you're self-unemployed. It's about me.